So I'm here with with some of the members from our cohort from last year, and we've been in a conversation a little bit about the program. And I was going to open up the first question about how their journey through the very first year of the program maybe has impacted their teaching practice this year. So, Michelle, I don't know if you want to start first, and we can kind of pass it around.
I have completely rethought kind of my approach in what I want my students to learn and walk away with in my classroom. The classes that I took last summer really have given me more confidence, encouraged me to diversify my repertoire and think about why I choose the songs that I choose. And it's just been a rejuvenating time in my professional career.
And Sarah, would you like to add?
Sure. Something that I hadn't thought of, I'm in my 12th year of teaching, and I kind of was in a little bit of a with my lessons, and I wasn't really thinking about the why of what I was doing. I just said, this is fun. And through the curriculum class and the philosophy of peacebuilding class, I kind of reintroduced the idea of, well, why do I teach that? What is my intent in teaching these things? Is it inclusive of everyone? Is it inclusive of all cultures? And are my students seeing examples of themselves in this? And I really enjoyed just reflecting on that with this group of other educators that I wouldn't have met any other way. So I really appreciated digging deeper into the whys of what I was doing.
I would say it's really made me focus on relationship building. And especially during this time that we've come through, I have spent a great deal more time concentrating on relationship building, and really gave myself permission to back off on accomplishing concepts in favor of building those relationships. And that has been incredibly rewarding for me and my students. I'm finding that I have much deeper connections with my students and much greater understanding with them. So I'm really excited about the fruit that will continue to bear in the future in developing our music program. So those relationships, it's been everything. And I feel like this program has really given me the tools to build that solid relationship foundation with my students.
And just before we started recording this video, you were talking about your experience in the trauma course. And I think it's important for anybody who's considering the program to know that there's a well-defined track, and then that there's also space to go for an elective in the course, and some people can choose coursework in trauma-informed learning or social emotional learning or in autism. So would you want to talk just briefly about your experience in the trauma-informed coursework?
Sure. The trauma-informed coursework was really eye-opening for me, because it gave me several different tools or lenses with which to view my students and to understand why their behaviors could be manifesting in certain ways. So, is this a child that is having difficulties with executive function, that type of control? Is this a child that's having a sensory issue? Or, what is really behind these children's behaviors? And that's given me the skills to change my reaction, so that in the past, as a young teacher, I might have been more like, this child is defying me. And so rather than asking the question, what's wrong with this child, asking more of, what is this child's story? And how can I support this child and help the child co-regulate and find out more about this child's story in order to be able to help them?
So many of our applicants may be concerned about how they balance their self and family care as they're thinking about taking on a master's program. So can you tell us about how this program has worked within your work-life balance or within your family balance, and how the rhythm of this coursework has worked for you? Maybe Emily, you want to start this time?
Okay. Well, I'm fortunate in that I'm coming into the program as a slightly older student, so my kids are more independent. So I'm not going to have quite the same parenting duties as perhaps a younger teacher might have. However, balancing work that I do with school, I'm on the national board for the Organization of American Code Association. So my professional responsibilities there and finding time for coursework, research, writing papers and things, I found it to be fairly easy to accomplish by, giving myself a schedule. Certain days are reading days, certain days are writing days. And it was really pretty easy to get myself into a rhythm of, dividing up those tasks and still having time to, make dinners and have fun with my family and take vacations and do all those things. I found that all of the professors have been really, really understanding, especially during the summertime when you need to be away. They've been really understanding and able to give you coursework ahead of time so that you can get stuff accomplished and still make that time for your family.
Yeah. Sarah?
Well, I really appreciated how everything was laid out, very organized. I found that we were kind of told ahead of time which weeks were going to be heavier and which weeks were going to be lighter, so you could kind of plan accordingly. I don't have a family at home, unless you count a dog and a husband. So, but I don't have kids at home. But my teaching schedule is pretty rigorous, and I was able to do the extra work with plenty of time to still have a home life as well and be able to teach. And the professors I found are really understanding of things, and if you don't understand something, they're willing to take a Zoom meeting or email with you if you need some kind of extra explanation, which I've really found helpful. But I really like the organization that we use through our computer program and just how easy it is to consume, and we always get a video about how this works and an introduction to the week. So if you plan accordingly, you can maybe watch your weekly introduction the first day of the week and say, okay, this week's going to be later, so I'm going to do it all spread out, or this week's going to be heavier, I need a little bit more time. So I really like the way that was organized and kind of shown to us so that I could figure out how I was going to do the work each week to week. So I really appreciated that. And everything was doable, everything. And if it wasn't, you could reach out to a professor and just say, hey, school is crazy, can I have 2 extra days? And it wasn't a problem. I didn't have to do that, but I figure it would not be a problem.
Well, I have 2 children at home, an elementary school aged child and a preschooler, newly preschool aged son. So my house is very, very busy, but I still found this incredibly manageable and really helpful that I could kind of use my professional brain a little bit and balance that with my mommy brain. So I had just both sides of Michelle I could kind of interact with. And like what Sarah said, you have the week, this is what your assignment is. You have videos, you have articles and things to read, and you can do that on your own time, which I found really helpful. So I knew I always had nap time or bedtime or, any other time during the day that I was able to do that. And if I needed to refer back to something, it was nice that the whole lesson was right there. If there was something in the video that I was like, I need to listen to that again for my paper, that resource was right there that I could just, okay, well, I know it was at this part of the video, I'm going to rewatch it. So I found that to be extremely helpful, that all the resources were always there. And that introduction video of each week was also really helpful in directing, okay, so this is kind of the theme or the area that we're going to be focusing on for this week. And flexibility was key. If you had an issue, if your kid gets sick or you're going on vacation or whatever it may be, just communicating with your professor, and they were very accommodating for me. So, yeah.
I would say that as I hear my kids screaming in the background, this was also important to me too. If we created a program on peace building, it had to work with families, because if a program disrupts families, then it's kind of the opposite of the very idea of peace building. So I think that was really a core part as we thought about building it. Yeah, we'll end it with any advice for individuals that you would have who may be thinking about applying to the program? Sarah, I don't know if you want to go first or not.
Sure. So the thing that attracted me to this program was it wasn't your run-of-the-mill graduate program in music education, because I could do that at any university in the state of Virginia. I liked that this had so many facets to it that are things I'm passionate about, like peacebuilding and social and emotional learning and ethnomusicology. It just felt like something that I don't think it is something that's offered anywhere else. And you can take another history of Western music class anywhere, but you're not going to get a program like this anywhere else, where you're learning about so many diverse topics that are so topical right now in our classrooms, and things that we should be doing, and things that are so important to help our students grow. And so I feel like this is a program that's so important right now, and I just am so thankful it exists, because I wanted to take my time to find a program that really fit me, and I wanted something that was unique, that I did my undergrad program. I did a little bit of oral skills, a little bit of theory, a little bit of that, and I've already done that. I didn't want to do that with my master's degree. I wanted to take a deeper dive into subjects that I really cared about. So that's kind of what attracted me to the program.
Michelle, if you want to go.
Yeah, I'll go next. I think especially coming out of this school year that's been incredibly trying for many of us, this program will help you get out of that rut, like Sarah said. It will help you remember why you got into music making, and how that musical connection with other people and with your kids, and inspiring that passion in your kids, why that's so important. Last summer, being able to relate our music philosophy course with current events that were happening really resonated with me, and helped me as an individual process it, but also think about what my kids were going through, and the political divide that was happening and continues to happen, and how as music teachers we can use our content in certain ways to create that peace building bridge for our community, and just the importance of that, especially right now.
Yeah, I would continue with what both Michelle and Sarah said, in that this is something that is different than taking like your methodology course in, Kodai philosophy or for Dalcroze or whatever. And this really gives you a chance, if you already have training in those other areas, or already have a passion in those other areas, this gives you a chance to take whatever that is and really knit it together with those elements of the peace building and the relationship building and your philosophy, and and really dig deeper, as the other ladies have said, with your students, which I think leads to a much richer experience for you as the teacher and for your kids. I also feel like it's made me a better parent doing all of that. It's really changed my views on how do I relate to my own kids at home. So yeah, I highly recommend it. And I've also been asked if you're an instrumental teacher, should you do it? And I would say yes, because I find myself talking with our band director at school and saying, oh yeah, we did this, you could incorporate that. And I'm trying to get her to come take the world drumming course with me this summer. Because I think there's a lot of possibilities for connections, even if you're an instrumental teacher.
Agreed. And I think I was telling one of the prospective students about one of the unexpected gifts that I don't think I expected as we were building this program, was that I think I had forgotten about it, what it means to bring together music teachers who are passionate about peace building into the same space, and what a gift it is to bring together cohorts like that, because the discussions that you have are a really rich space, because everybody who's coming into that space has that kind of sense of commitment to those areas. And I think that that's been one of the unexpected gifts that I think I hadn't planned for as we were building this program.
And I felt, even though none of us have met in person yet because of the virus, I have felt a connection with every member of my cohort, because I think we had to be vulnerable a little bit in our responses, and we had to really think about the content in a more personal way, and it just established these connections with one another that I don't normally experience in school as a student. So, yeah.
Thank you all.